Hi, it's Dr. Connie here. Last week I talked about the potential toxins we're exposed to every day. We discussed the importance of being aware of the toxins in our lives, that it's a problem that has become infused into our daily lives that we live completely oblivious to, but the issue is that they do cause cumulative damage. I've been talking to many of you who have an autoimmune condition or symptoms that you want to keep under control. And I know that many of you live your lives without being aware that you are sometimes taking an active role in toxifying your body. Now, it's impossible to live a toxic-free life unless we subject ourselves to living in a bubble. So today, I want to discuss what you can do to minimize the toxic burden that may be perpetuating the symptoms that you're struggling with, such as fatigue, foggy brain, weakness, nerve pain, general pain in muscles in your joints, hair loss, rashes, or even weight gain. So I believe that when we gain weight, it's not just an increase in fat cells. Rather, the underlying inflammation bloats you up and causes those pounds on a scale to creep up on you. You know what I'm talking about. Your daily intake of calories in a way of food has not really changed, yet your scale paints a different picture. You have pitting edema near your ankles and swollen eyes, those under eye bags that we try so hard to conceal. And when you have inflammation, toxins can't be released from our tissues. It's sort of the dirty oil that fails to get cleaned, like in a car, right? Unless you clean out the filter and change the oil. So when the toxins accumulate, it does lots more damage than we realize. So some of us end up with a disease, but most of us live every day with some symptoms that we sweep under the rug, hoping they'll resolve on their own. But the problem is that it doesn't resolve, and many of you end up in my office in search of a way to feel better. So let's talk about where these potential toxins lurk in our lives. We talked a lot about the air, the food, our toxic relationships, and the elusive stressors in our lives. So I figure it's a good way to start by fixing something we do every day, eating. So food is a universal language. It allows us to experience comfort, love, pure joy, and share times with those we love. And when feelings are involved, it's not logical. We make choices based on the way we feel. On that note, I want to call some of you out. Most of us know what we should eat or what we shouldn't eat. The problem isn't the knowledge, but it's the feelings that drive our behavior. So remember, last week I said it all starts with awareness. And the way toxins have contaminated our food supply is another topic altogether. But today, I'd like to talk about what we can do every day to minimize our risks. Because we all eat every day. Eating is a great place to start. So even though the information age has us constantly bombarded on our electronic devices, there are some rules of nature that we can't break, but we're breaking them every day. So the laws of nature are to eat seasonally. When I was seriously sick with lupus prior to the official diagnoses, I visited a traditional Chinese medical doctor who told me to respect nature and eat according to my constitution. He said that since I was more yang than yin, I needed a good source of protein, specifically red meats, to supply my energy and achieve balance to fight off my disease. I needed to eat what's in season. It was summer when I visited him, and he said that summer is very yang and expansive. When fruits like watermelon and melons are in season, and when the vegetables are very green from getting chlorophyll from the sun. He told me it would make sense to eat those vegetables and fruits in season. Since then, I've come across various research that validates this simple and logical concept. 2 is to eat real foods. If Mother Nature didn't have a role in creating the food that you're consuming, then simply don't eat it. When going to the supermarket, shop mostly on the periphery of the store. This is where the meats and vegetables are. The middle aisles typically contain processed, man-made foods. These foods often contain food labels with ingredients that were chemically engineered. And if you can't pronounce these ingredients, they don't belong in your gut. Eating fruits and vegetables that have a wide array of colors. These concepts are again so logical, yet we tend to toxify our bodies daily with things we all know to be toxic to us. 3 is to avoid toxic foods. So toxic foods include GMOs, genetically modified foods, petrochemical residues from farming practices, those with heavy metal contamination, like from mercury from industrial waste that ends up in fish, lead in the water, so it's important to filter your water, arsenic in water, rice, and chicken, advanced glycation products, AGE known as, and food preparation from overcooking, polyaromatic hydrocarbons from char-boiled meats, not so good. So how to minimize exposure to contaminants and pesticides from foods? Number 1 is don't overconsume foods that have concentrated amounts of pesticides, like animal fat, meats, eggs, cheese, and milk. Buy organic produce. And number 3 is to peel off the skin or remove the outer layer of leaves of certain veggies and fruits like lettuce, apples, with lots of wax. Number 4 is to remove surface pesticide residues, wax, and fungicides, fertilizers by soaking the food in mild solution of additive-free soap like pure Castile soap, which is biodegradable cleanser. And use a scrub brush to actually physically get rid of them. And sometimes we're reluctant to go organic, but as a mom raising 2 boys of my own and a lupus patient, I am fully convinced by the research that it's the best thing you can do. Some studies have reviewed the urinary metabolites of pesticides and found that organic diets significantly lower children's dietary exposure to pesticides. Number 4 is eating locally grown foods. So if you're living in Georgia, there are Georgia pollens and honey, fruits and vegetables that our local farmers have harvested and grown. These are what we should be eating. We should avoid eating fruits, vegetables, and meats that traveled overseas to get to us, as it's just not the way Mother Nature intended. Support your local farmers by joining CSA, Community Sustainable Agriculture. If you want to find out more, you can visit the website www.localharvest.org/CSA. Number 5 is to avoid plastic containers. Plastics are everywhere in our kitchen, from water bottles to food storage, even to saran wraps. So plastic leaches toxins into our food, and research has proven these toxins to be carcinogenic. Reduce the BPA and phthalates in your body by limiting the amount of packaged foods in your diet. Research has proven that organic, fresh, so no cans or plastic, food diet drop BPA levels by 66% and phthalates metabolites by 53 to 56% within just 3 days. And drinking from cans has acute effects on blood pressure. A study examined 60 participants and provided the same beverage in 2 glass bottles, 2 cans or 1 can and 1 glass bottle at a time. Then they measured the BPA concentration, blood pressure, and heart rate 2 hours after consumption. And they found that urinary BPA concentration increased after consuming canned beverages by 1,600% compared with the consuming glass bottled beverages. Lastly is gratitude. It's not enough just eating healthy foods, but our state of mind when we're eating those foods that can make them more or less toxic. Nourishment includes how we value the experience of eating as well. For example, there was a randomized trial investigating the role of intention and belief in mood while drinking tea. Subjects were randomly assigned to drink tea that had been intentionally treated by Buddhist monks or regular tea. They found that those who drank treated tea showed a greater improvement in mood than those who drank untreated tea. The results also proved that there was a significant improvement in mood in those who believed that they were drinking treated tea versus those who didn't believe their tea was treated by the Buddhist monks. So let's review all that we learned today. For proper detoxification, awareness is key in understanding where the hidden toxins may be lurking in your life. We discussed the importance of respecting Mother Nature, which includes eating seasonal foods, eating real foods, and avoiding toxins in our foods, eating locally grown foods, avoiding plastic containers, and having gratitude when eating. I know this was a lot of information, so next week we'll discuss the specifics of nutrient-rich foods and how to incorporate them in your diet, which will allow you to safely detox so that you can remove the toxic metabolites from your body and ultimately reduce inflammation to look and feel your very best. So please make sure to tune in next week. And as always, thanks so much for joining me today, and I would love to hear from you. Please comment, like, and share this content, and I'll see you next week.